A long delayed review of my comics and books I've read. Literally, I have 17 things for you today. I've been reading lots. I just haven't been reviewing them, which is the problem I had last time. I need to do these things. I don't know why I don't. So I picked over 100 books. I think it was actually last month. I think I've not done one since last month. I did it like very much after, I think within a day of me doing my last book review. So it was very close to that, and I did it then, and so I'm way over 100 now. We're working on 200 books by the end of the year now, for sure. So I'll just go through these and we'll talk about them, and hopefully you'll find some things that you're interested in reading. So I'm going to start off with, I got some independent comics here. Don't know whether to start off with the one I like the least. I think I'll start off with the one I like the least. Drawn Onward. I picked this up at Gosh a few months ago, which is a comic store in London, and I'm not really sure about it, this one. So this is a story of two people that meet on the metro, and Chris just got back. People who meet on the metro. He's been Pokemon hunting, of course, and they're kind of meet up in relationship. It's a very, very odd book. So, like, a guy approaches a woman saying he knows her, she doesn't know him, and then you have, like, the awkward thing at the end of it kind of doubling back and being the other way around. It wasn't very good. The illustration style is kind of interesting. That's why I originally picked it up. But I just don't feel there was much of a story there. And I was actually really confused about why this was happening. I understood that, like, they both kind of encountered each other, but they don't know each other, but they think they know each other, or they do know each other, and we're in time travel in. It didn't make much sense. If I was going to give this a rating of 5, I would give it a 1. And that would be being generous. It is not a good comic at all. Don't pick it up. Don't be stupid like me and waste money on it. Okay. I now own a copy, so good. Next thing I picked up, quite a simple comic. Effective for what it is. Another independent comic, and this is called Cat Disco. As you can tell, disco, disco, disco cat. It's about what cats do when they're not being watched by their humans. They go to the cat disco. And we've got a cat that goes to the disco for the first time. I can't remember what his name is. He has a name, but I don't remember what it was. Mogsy. Mogsy the cat goes to the cat disco for the first time and learns all about the cat disco, which they, like, release birds, and, like, all the cats try to attack them, and they listen to music, and they get drunk. And it's all kind of fun. What excitement! What freedom! And there's bouncers, and he falls in love with a girl, and it's just quite nice. I think it's quite fun. I enjoyed this comic. I mean, it's not very big. It's a very short comic, but it was good for what it was. I'd give it 3 out of 5 stars if I was checking it out. But if you see it, it might be worth just having a quick flick through. I don't know if you should buy it. I don't think it was one I should have actually bought, but it was okay. Next thing I've got here is She-Hulk, Law and Disorder. Since the Marvel Women of Power box, I've decided to start reading She-Hulk. I did try Captain Marvel as well. I didn't get on with it very well. I got like and I don't have those in front of me because I went back to the library. A-Force, like volumes 1 and 2. I didn't get on with it very well. I didn't like Captain Marvel. I didn't find her likable at all. And I've read her as I don't know if I actually got it here. Read her as Marvel Civil War, and I didn't like it in that either that much. But I am enjoying She-Hulk. She-Hulk's good. I'm not always sure about the illustration style because they had loads of different illustrators in this, and some make She-Hulk look nicer than others. Some make all the characters look rather ugly. So I wasn't sure why they chose to do that, but Look at how harsh they look in this. I don't like that at all. The story's good. The story kept me interested. And it's like, that's Patsy Walker Hellcat. She looks horrible there. It really, the lines are just too harsh. And that. But when you get another illustrator, like this one's much more nicer. I like this one a lot better. The colors are better in it. You can tell who the characters are pretty well. I mean, their features aren't as soft, I think, as in Patsy Walker. But we can tell who they are, and they don't come off as looking really monstrous, which some of the illustrations do. So we've got She-Hulk working a case that involves Tony Stark, and then working in a case that involves Doctor Doom, and we're getting a case that involves lots of like low-level superheroes that she is part of as a defendant, but something bad happens with it. I think it's quite a good one. I probably will check out other volumes. I'll see if the library has the other volumes for it, because I don't know if I want to invest loads of money in reading She-Hulk, but I'll see if the library has another one. If not, I might pick up volume 2, because I did enjoy it enough to read the next volume. But I'm not sure if it's one I want to buy continuously. I like that she's in Patsy Walker. That's kind of why I bought it, because I quite like her in Patsy Walker. But I'm not sure about having her own series, and I like the tie-ins with those two. Next one I read, I don't know if I've actually done this one. No, I think I just talked about it, is Cat vs. Human. First volume of that. So this is kind of just a funny comic. It's just lots of little anecdotes about cats and what they do in their lives, and we've got prehistoric cats there, and it's just lots of little things about being a cat owner and some of the things you might experience when you are a cat owner, like your cat trying to gouge your eyes out when you take them to the vet. I think we've all been there. It's quite a fun read. I'm glad I bought it. I don't know how rereadable this will be, but I did enjoy it enough to have another look at it later on, I think. I think if I come back to this in a couple years' time, I'll find it hilarious again. I'd give this a 4 out of 5. Really liked it. Oh, I didn't give She-Hulk a rating. 4 out of 5 as well for She-Hulk, I think. Next thing I read was Howard the Duck. Wasn't sure about Howard the Duck. Had read some of the crossover he had with Squirrel Girl. Wasn't sure about him, but saw this in the library, and this is volume 1, Duck Hunt. This isn't the first volume, because Marvel now have volume 0 for some reason. I don't know what you're doing, Marvel. Why do you do that? Just make it 1 if it's 1. But I had read one of the comics in here, because I'd read the whole crossover with Howard and Squirrel Girl, but the rest of it I hadn't read yet, so I was very eager to read this. Lots of good stuff, lots of Guardians of the Galaxy crossed over. I love, what was it, Linda and Socket, the female rocket. I love them. I love them so much. I want a whole comic series of just them, because they are so cool. They are awesome. I could just read them all day. They're just really cool. And they're supposed to be like their doppelgangers, and I thought that was really neat, and I really enjoyed that. I thought Howard the Duck was pretty good, actually. I liked it better than She-Hulk, and I'm surprised to say that. I thought I would like She-Hulk more. This is more of the line of comic I like. It's a lot like Squirrel Girl, and I think it works really well for what it is. And there's lots of like good crossovers with other people, like the Silver Surfer in here. Guardians of the Galaxy, Kitty Pryde. I'm interested to see him back with, what was her name in the thing? Beverly from the movie. And I know Leah Thompson makes an appearance in Howard the Duck in the next volume. I'm interested to see that, as herself as well, so that's even cooler. But yeah, I'm interested in this one. I really liked it. 4 to 5 again. Think it was great. We'll be picking up the other issues. Next one I have is Kim and Kim. It's a small independent publisher, this one. Wasn't sure about it. The illustration style is completely different from the front cover. I was expecting it to be similar to that. I kind of like the illustration style inside better than the front cover, though, so it's alright. So this is an interesting comic, because one of the characters is transgender, this Kim here. so that makes it a little bit more interesting. They are both bounty hunters, a little bit like another comic I'm going to come up to, Bounty. But Bounty didn't work for me while this one did quite a bit. I really enjoyed this one. It's all about them just like trying to make it in the world of bounty hunters. And they're best friends, and lots of stuff's coming against them. They don't have a lot of money, so they're struggling for things, and they're having other people trying to take their jobs, and they just kick their butts and take it back. I will be reading the next issue of this. I like this a lot. I thought this was an interesting comic. Something different to check out. Something that isn't too mainstream with the Marvel DC. And I thought it was pretty good. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 5. I wouldn't say I love it, but I thought it was pretty good, and I will continue on with it. Next one we have is Patsy Walker, Hellcat with Jessica Jones guest starring this month. Let me just get that open. Okay, the tape does not want to move. Nice to see Jessica Jones. I couldn't get into the TV show, but I know enough about her from reading Wikipedias about the Alias series that I could understand who she was. Yeah, so just compare this to She-Hulk. Look at how much nicer the illustration style is here of She-Hulk, how much softer it is. I think it's just so much nicer that she just comes off as much, a much nicer character in this, less hard than she is in the other one. So we've got Hellcat's friend, former friend Hetty is trying to steal her rights for a comic book, and they're trying to take them back. Jessica Jones is trying to help them. Patsy decides to embrace her alter ego in this comic book and join the fandom, really, and let people like get her autograph and stuff to make them realize she is a real person in order for her to get those rights back. She has a fight with Hetty over the stuff, and Hetty realizes she is indeed Hellcat. Quite enjoyed this one. Thought it was pretty good. Enjoyed Jessica Jones being there. I hope to see more of her in the future in this comic. Kind of really worked for me. And we've got Civil War 2 coming up, crossover apparently. So we'll see how that works. I think Squirrel Girl will also have that going this month. But I enjoyed this one. It's a good, another good issue. Hellcat doesn't really disappoint too much. Most of the issues are pretty good, 4 out of 5. Now we have Flash Rebirth. I actually read issue 1 and 2 of Flash Rebirth. I've not read a lot of Flash up to this point, so this is fairly new for me. This is my first taste in getting into Flash. I have read one trade paperback that tied into the television series, and I thought it was okay, so I thought I'd give this a go, because Flash is my favorite DC character at the moment. I felt I jumped in a bit deep with this. I thought it was harder to read than I would have liked it. It wasn't very good for someone that didn't know a lot about the series. I had read, I have been reading it. I've got that one here as well. I have read DC Rebirth as well, and I'm glad I read that along with this, because I would not know what was going on in this if I hadn't read this. But yeah, I think with DC Rebirth it was okay, and I could understand the storyline. I could see they're going for a new thing with having lots of multiple Flashes, and I think that's going to be cool, and I'm going to try it out. But altogether for these two, I think I'd give it a 3 out of 5. Didn't love it that much, but I will give the next issue a try. I think this will be better in trade paperback rather than in individual comics. I think it will work better as a trade. So I might check them out in trades later on, possibly when the library gets them, save myself a bit of money. So as I said, I read DC Universe Rebirth. Quite enjoyed it, actually. I enjoyed it more than I thought. I didn't actually, when I bought it, I didn't actually clock how big of a comic book it was. For some reason, I thought it was just a short thing, but then we had all these multiple stories in it, and I thought it was cool. I like the element of Watchmen coming in there. I'm not sure why Watchmen is coming in there, but I recognized it immediately and was very pleased to see Watchmen coming in there. Also enjoyed a bit about Superman being missing, and the whole Wally West crossover thing. I think this is interesting. I've also just read Flashpoint, so that's interesting to try and tie this in with Superman being missing and Flashpoint as well, where Superman was also missing. I think that's very cool, and will pay off, really. Lots of interesting stuff here. Batman trying to help Wally West, and I think because I'd read Flashpoint as well, that really helped tie everything together. So I think I will like DC Rebirth. I think I'm just going to read through the Flash. I think the Flash is going to be the major thing for this one, so I think I'm going to stick with the Flash, keep going. Since we're on the Flash, I'll go into Flashpoint as well. Read this one because I'm interested in what's going to happen in Season 3 of Flash. Wanted to know a bit more about Flashpoint because it's a major storyline. I like this better than the Rebirth, quite a lot better. I thought it was very interesting, the whole Flash, I won't tell you too much, but turning back time and losing his powers. Kind of like how he does in the TV show. I like the fact Wonder Woman and Aquaman were both evil. I really like that. I thought that was cool. And Batman being Thomas Wayne instead of Bruce, also really neat. Gave him a completely different kind of attitude than you would expect for Batman. Didn't know anything about the Shazam kids. Didn't really recognize them until about halfway through that that's what they were doing. But yeah, they were okay. I think they were probably the biggest letdown of the whole thing. I loved Element Woman. Element Woman, I have no idea who is, but she just seems so funny. And it's like, I just want to be part of a team. And it's like, okay, Element Woman. I kind of want to read your comic. I think she could be DC Squirrel Girl quite easily if they let her be. I don't know if she's got her own series. I might check and see, because I feel like she'd be DC's version of Squirrel Girl. I really do. It just sounds so fun. Barry having his mom there is quite cool. I think I'll like it more in the TV show, but we will see. I really enjoyed this comic. I would give it, I wouldn't give it 5 out of 5. I give it 4 out of 5. I'm pretty happy with it. I do recommend reading this before the next season of The Flash, because I think this is going to give us a lot of information about what's going to happen on The Flash. I know everything's going to be remixed, because it always is on The Flash, but I think this gives us a good background of what's actually happening in Flashpoint. Okay. Next thing I read was Bounty. As I said, I read 2 things about bounty hunters this month. Kim and Kim and Bounty. Kim and Kim was better. Bounty was a bit of a disappointment, unfortunately. I found it really confusing, first of all. I didn't understand. I understand that they were bounty hunters, but the whole actual story made little sense at all. They kept jumping around, and I didn't like that. I didn't like the world they were living in. I didn't like either of the main characters. Can't even remember their names. That's how much I didn't care about them. It was a pretty boring comic. I struggled to read it page to page. I won't be getting this next month. As I said, another review. I was taken in by the cute cat being on the second cover, and that is a bad idea. Do not get taken in by cute cats, because there was so little of it in this, and you get like the cat in a couple panels, but I was like, I know. I just don't feel like anything else had that vibe in this comic. It wasn't cute, it wasn't fun to read, it just was kind of boring. So I won't be checking out Bounty issue 2. If you disagree with me, try and sell me on this comic, because I wanted to like it, but I don't. 1 out of 5, if I'm being generous. I didn't like it very much. Okay, next thing. Another comic I checked out. This is another one by a smaller publisher, Jade Street Protection Services. This has got a Sailor Moon, Gem and the Holograms type vibe. Really enjoyed it. Thought it was pretty good. I think it adds something. It's got a lot of diversity in it, which I quite like when they do that in comic books, because I don't like all the characters to be the same necessarily. But I thought they all kind of were interesting. They're all linked to weapons, so it's a bit like the Sailor Scouts having things, having their powers linked to their wands. These people, all their powers are linked to their weapons, and I thought that was really interesting. And they go to the special school. It's a bit like Hogwarts. where they train and they can't do anything else other than train for these weapons because they're linked to them. And someone steals one of the girl's weapons and they go to protect her. It's interesting so far. I will definitely check out issue 2. I thought it was an interesting introduction. I got right into the story right away. I'm not sure how well it's going to go. It might go well, it might not. But we'll see. I will give issue 2 a try and see where we go from there. I didn't have any standout characters I like. I think they were trying to make, I think it was Emma, the standout character. But I didn't have any characters I immediately grabbed onto and went, ooh, I really like this person. There just wasn't, unfortunately. But I don't know if that will change later on. Possibly. So I checked this one out. If you haven't already, I'd give it 4 out of 5. I think it's pretty good. Next thing, one I always enjoy, Giant Days. What can I say about Giant Days I haven't already said already? This is a brilliant comic. If you aren't reading it, you are missing out. I don't know if it's a guy-friendly comic. My boyfriend reads it as well. He loves it. I think it's got to be a certain age range for this one, that you'd like it. But if you are a girl and you're not reading Giant Days, you are missing out. You should be reading Giant Days. Esther, and Susie, and, oh, why am I blanking on her name? I'm blanking on her name. I'm gonna blank on her name now, because I cannot remember it. It will come to me later on. Esther is everybody's favorite character. She's not on the cover here. That's, Susan. But we had this, there's Esther there. We have this hilarious, foreign exchange student from Germany who I love and I hope will be part of, the comic from now on. She just was so great. I really enjoyed her. She's just so adorable. And the whole, premise of this comic here is, that Susan is going on 3 different dates in 3 days and just trying to get it over with and get Daisy, that's her name. I remember Daisy's name. Why couldn't I do that? So Susan's trying to go on multiple dates, try and find someone to replace a girl who was her boyfriend, and doesn't work out really that well. But it wasn't going to. Giant Days likes his drama. It was never going to. But it's a fun comic. You should definitely be reading this if you're not. 5 out of 5 as usual. Okay. Scooby Apocalypse issue 2. It's getting a little better. It's getting a little better. Better than issue 1. Still not sure about it. I'm going to give it another go. Because I'm still not sure. It improved from issue 1, which is always good if it improved from issue 1. I'm not loving it yet. But I'm trying. I'm trying to like it. I don't know if it's DC that makes it hard. I seem to love Marvel more than DC. I don't know what it is, but Marvel just is easier for me to read. But I'm still trying with this one. I want to like it. I understand more about what the Apocalypse bit is now, which is good, because there was nothing in the first issue really too much to do with the Apocalypse. I'm happy with it. I'm getting to like Daphne more. And Velma more, that's good. Scooby and Shaggy even are okay. Fred's just kind of background and Fred does nothing. Really, he does absolutely nothing. We don't even need him in this, and that's sad because Fred should be the leader of the mystery gang and he's not. But yeah, give it a go if you haven't already. I think you should check it out. I think it's that unique that I think it's worth checking out. I'd give it a 3 out of 5 again, but I think you should check it out if you haven't already. Okay, last 2 I really, really enjoyed. So, Unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I don't know if I've done this one already. I might have. I don't know. I think I just did it in a haul video. Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, number 9. Squirrel Girl is pursued by Mole Man. It sounds so stupid, but it's just hilarious. Mole Man wants to date Squirrel Girl. Funny, after the issue previous to this, that Squirrel Girl was going on a bunch of these dates. He'll do anything for her. He will sink cities for her. He'll take over the world for her. It's a great comic this month. I really enjoyed this one. Lots of good satire in this one. Really, really funny situations for Squirrel Girl to be in. You should definitely check this one out. 5 out of 5, definitely. And the last one is Space Battle Lunchtime, issue 3. I love Space Battle Lunchtime. Such a simple concept, but it works so well. The colors are bright. It's a lovely comic to read. It's very quick to read, but I love the idea, and it's just so creative with the different recipes, and I'm loving this. I think it's a 6-issue series. Maybe it's 5. I think it's 6. I think it's a 6-issue series. I was thinking originally it was 4, but it doesn't seem to be ending very soon, so it seemed odd if it ended that quickly. So I think it's 6 issues. Really enjoying it though. Just a fun little, like, it's a bit girly. I will admit it's a bit girly, but it is a fun comic, and it's very unique, and it's different than any of the other comics I'm reading at the moment. So I enjoy it. That simple concept really works for me of just Master Chef in space. Check it out. It's a cool comic. 5 out of 5 definitely for that one. So that was my my huge book and comic review. I gotta stop piling them up like this. I really do. I need to do it like 3 or 4 things at a time, but I probably won't. So that was 17 books here. 17, Melissa. Yeah, my lucky number, but 17. Yeah, that's a lot of comic books and books to be behind on. But you should definitely check out some of these. Let me know in the comments which ones you enjoyed, if you're reading them too, which ones you want to check out now that you know about Space Battle Lunchtime. You should definitely check that one out. And She-Hulk and Flashpoint. You should be reading those. And definitely Giant Days. So, thanks for watching, guys. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to do a 300 subscriber video, Q&A soon. I'm going to try and do that after this one. So, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hey guys, Mel here. I really want you to subscribe, want you to subscribe, want you to click that button below. Subscribe.